Let's discuss the bony feature of the clavicle. So it is basically clavicle of left side. So it has medial end, the shaft, and the lateral end. The shaft is divisible into medial 2/3 and the lateral 1/3. The lateral 1/3 of the shaft. The lateral 1/3 of the shaft is flattened from above downward. As you can see here, it is flattened. So lateral 1/3 of the shaft is flattened from above downward. It has two surfaces and two borders. So the superior surface and the inferior surface, and two borders are the anterior border and the posterior border. So anterior border is concave forwards and the posterior border is convex backward. The superior surface, it is subcutaneous, and the inferior surface has an elevated part. You can see here, it is the conoid tubercle, and it has a ridge called as trapezoid ridge. This is trapezoid ridge and this is conoid tubercle. So this is all about the lateral 1/3 of the shaft. Now the medial 2/3 of the shaft. Here it is. This part is the medial 2/3 of the shaft. So medial 2/3 of shaft, as you can see here, it is rounded. So because it is rounded, it has four surfaces. This is the anterior surface, this is the superior surface, this one is posterior, and this is the inferior surface of the medial 2/3 of the shaft. So the anterior surface is convex forward. The superior surface has a rough area in its middle. You can see here, it is the rough area in its middle. The posterior surface, it is smooth. Posterior surface basically it is smooth. And the inferior surface, so inferior surface has the oval impression near its medial end. See, this is medial end and this is oval impression. You can see here, it is oval impression, and lateral half of the medial end is occupied by the subclavian groove. You can see here, this is the lateral half and it is subclavian groove on the lateral half of the medial 2/3. Now let's discuss about the medial end. The medial end, it is quadrangular and articulates with the clavicular notch of the manubrium sterni to form the sternoclavicular joint. The articular surface of the medial end extend in its inferior aspect. You can see here, it is extended to form a joint with the first costal cartilage. It forms joint with first costal cartilage. You can see here the extended part of the medial end. The lateral end. The lateral end, it is flattened from above downwards, and it has articular surface. This is the facet that articulates with the acromion process of the scapula to form the acromioclavicular joint. This end is also called as the acromion end because it has articulation with the acromion process of the scapula. That's why it's called the acromion end. So let's see the muscle attachment of the clavicle. So lateral end. At lateral end, the articular surface for the acromioclavicular joint gives attachment to the joint capsule for the acromioclavicular joint. At medial end, the articular surface for the sternum gives attachment to the joint capsule for the sternoclavicular joint all over. This margin gives attachment to the joint capsule, fibrous joint capsule of the sternoclavicular joint all over, and posteriorly articular disc and superiorly interclavicular ligament. This is superior part, interclavicular ligament attached here. The lateral one third of the shaft. Lateral one third of the shaft. The deltoid muscle arises from the anterior border of the lateral one third. The posterior border provide insertion for the trapezius muscle. The conoid tubercle and the trapezoid ridge of the inferior surface of the lateral one third gives attachment to the conoid and trapezoid part of the coracoclavicular ligament. Medial two-third of the shaft. In medial two-third of the shaft, the anterior surface gives origin to the pectoralis major muscle. The half rough surface of the superior surface gives origin to the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The posterior surface gives origin to the sternohyoid muscle. And this oval impression gives attachment to the costoclavicular ligament. The subclavian groove present inferiorly gives insertion to the subclavius muscle.